Welcome back. So what we're looking at today is 4.2, and we're going to be estimating while dividing. So looking at estimating our quotients. So quotients is the answer to a division problem. So how can you estimate quotients? George is putting 258 shells into 6 boxes. He wants to put about the same number in each box. About how many shells could George put in each box? So since we are looking at estimating, just like with all our other cases of estimation, we have two different ways to do it. One way is to use rounding to estimate. So we can take this 258 divided by 6, and we can round. Remember, we can round to the nearest tens or hundreds. So we could take the 258 and round it up to 300. So now we have the problem 300 divided by 6. Well, 30 divided by 6 is 5, and then we put our 0 on, so it'd be about 50. Another way we can do this is using compatible numbers. So replacing 258 with 240 instead. So this gets it a little closer to the actual answer. Yes, it's going to be lower, but it's going to get it closer. So if we take our 240 and divide it by 6, 6 can go into 24 4 times. 6 times 4 is 24. So we have 0, bring down our 0. So it's 40. So our answer, the actual answer, is going to be somewhere between our 40 and 50 for this. So we have the two different possible answers here for how many shells could go in each box. It's going to be somewhere between the 40 and 50, depending on how we choose to estimate it. So we have 520 divided by 4. So 520 divided by 4. Now, with this one, we can estimate it a few different ways. We can round this. We can actually keep this exactly as is. It will work out. We can also change this to a number that is divisible by more recognizably more recognizably divisible by 4. But like I said, in this case, it does work out. 52 divided by 4, that does work. We can actually divide this. So 520 divided by 4. 4 can go in 5 one time. So we get 1. We bring down our 2. 4 can go into 12 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. 0. Bring down our 0. Put a 0 up there. So 130 is our quotient. So looking at these compatible. So these were compatible numbers, even though we didn't have to change anything. So compatible is your key word for this lesson, compatible. All right, our next one, we have 444 divided by 8. So we need to think of a number that 8 can go into. So we know 8 times 6 is 48, so we could bump this up to 48. 8 times 5 is 40. We could also drop this down to just 400. So we could do 400 divided by 8. We could also do 480 divided by 8. So high end and low end. So looking at either or. So 8 can go into 40 5 times. So we have 40 minus 40, which is 0. Bring down our 0. So we have 50. If we did the 48, 8 can go into 48 6 times. Subtract these, bring down the 0. So 60. So low end would be 50, high end would be 60. So either one of those would be a perfectly acceptable answer. We have 640 divided by 6. So we could take this all the way down to 600. So 600 divided by 6. 6 can go into 60 10 times. 0, bring down the 0, 0. So 100 would be our answer for this. Our next one, we have 310 divided by 5. We could round this down to 300 divided by 5. 5 can go into 30 6 times. Subtract those, we get 0. Carry it down, 0. So we have 60s. This is all about estimating and using those compatible numbers. So here we have 683. So we could change this to simply 680 divided by 2. 2 can go into 6 3 times. We get 0. We bring down the 8. 2 can go into 8 4 times. Subtract, we get 0. Bring down our 0. And we end up with 340. So it's all about using those compatible numbers or rounding to get our estimate for these. So here we have 297 divided by 3. This one should recognize we could easily round up to do 300 divided by 3. So 3 can go into 300 100 times. So 100 would be our answer. All right, here we have 700 divided by 9. So if we think about 9 and multiples of 9, things that 9 can divide into, 9 times 8 is 72. So we could bump this using compatible numbers up to 720. Divided by 9. 9 can go into 72 8 times. Bring down the 0. So 80 would be our answer here. So using compatible numbers, using rounding to take and estimate our quotients, it gives us approximations on where our answers should be. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day, guys. Bye.